If you're watching this video, you're probably trying to learn a skill or accomplish a goal or get somewhere in your life. And I'm here to show you how to make that very simple. Give you a simple plan that you can actually follow that's going to help you achieve the results you actually want. Okay? When people try to learn things, they tend to make things more difficult than they have to be. Okay? Learning things should be simple. As humans, we were made to learn things. Our brains were made to learn things. Okay? So learning is actually simple. Let me just show you how it's done. So it's very simple. First thing you need to do is just do your skill. I see so much planning going into how you're going to do your skill. So many people trying to set up the perfect conditions, the perfect timing to start their skill. Guys, there is never, ever going to be perfect conditions and perfect timing to start your skill. You just have to try it. You just have to do it. So the first step is always do your skill. So if you're learning a language, go and try to listen to a podcast. Go try to read a simple book. If you're learning a sport, go and try to play that sport, okay? If you're playing basketball, go play pickup basketball. Whatever it is, I want you to just engage with your skill. Do your skill, okay? At the beginning, many people try to read textbooks and work through textbooks or watch tutorials and follow exactly what's in tutorial videos. Guys, forget all that. Try your skill. You have no context yet. You need to build context for what you're learning by actually doing your skill, actually engaging with your skill. Okay, so when you do your skill, you're either going to have moments within the time frame that you're doing your skill where you fail or succeed. Okay, and you don't need to mentally be like marking down every single thing that went right or every single thing that went wrong. But whenever you do your skill, you're always going to run into points where you think, there was something about that I didn't quite understand. Something about that didn't quite go right. Okay, so once you do your skill and you see those moments of failure and succeeding, I want you to analyze, okay, and think about what exactly happened during those moments, okay? Where was the point in time when you were doing your skill where you thought, I don't know what I'm doing, okay? Or you thought, wow, that really went well. Why did that go so well? Okay, after you find that, after you've done a little self-analysis after the session or even during the session, okay, just think about it for a little bit. I want you to pick out one or two things that were the things that stood out to you the most throughout that session. And I want you to go find specific contextual information about those things. Okay, and the reason this is so effective and the reason this is better than most other strategies where you're trying to like learn in a textbook and then implement the things you learn from a textbook in a real situation is because things that you already encountered in this real situation, your brain is very primed and ready for information about those things. You've already done the hard work. You've built like the context. You've built the context already for actually going and getting that information. So as soon as you find this contextual information, you can immediately place it into a framework in your brain, okay? And you can immediately actually start implementing that information. So again, people are usually doing this backwards, right? They're analyzing, they're reading textbooks, and then they're trying to apply that information. No, I want you to do the skill, okay? And then look back on what went well, what went wrong, and then go find the contextual information about those specific things. And it doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to remember everything, guys, okay? Let me say that again. You don't have to remember everything. When you're learning skills, you're going to build up tiny bits of information over time, okay? Over time. The brain was not made to take in huge chunks of information all at once. Okay, the way we learn is slowly over time. So don't overdo this step, right? Just go listen to a little bit of information. Go find a little bit of information about something you are curious about or something that went wrong during your session. Okay? Then after that, next is when it gets maybe a little more complicated, but it's going to be dependent on what skill you're doing, how you learn. But you're going to need systems to focus in on these specific things. So if you were trying to perform a technique in a sport and you couldn't do it correctly. Well, one system that you might have is drilling that technique, okay, only the specific part that you were failing on, drilling that technique over and over for maybe 15, 30 minutes a day. Okay, that's one system you may use. If you're learning a language and there was a word you were curious about but you couldn't remember, maybe throwing that into a deck of flashcards, okay, and then reviewing those just for 15, 30 minutes a day. So that's one way you can use systems to actually drill specific problems, these specific scenarios you ran into, okay? So you want to isolate those specific things that you got contextual information on and then work on those specifically. Okay, once again, don't go crazy on this. The most important thing is actually doing your skill, guys. Actually engaging with your skill. Don't go crazy. 15 minutes, 30 minutes a day. That's plenty of time to drill specifically on one thing. If you want to do more, yeah, sure. It's important to follow your motivation and what you want to do within the skill, but please don't go crazy. Again, I'm trying to make this simple for you. This is what I do, okay? I try to make my learning very simple, very easy. Pick up on information that I'm already primed and ready for, and don't try to jam a bunch of stuff that I'm not ready for yet, okay? Then, after you do that, obviously you're going to engage with your skill again, and then go through this process over and over and over again. Over a period of days, weeks, months, and years, your skill level will slowly progress over time. And you'll always keep improving because you're always looking for these little specific bits of information you can add, okay? So hopefully that makes sense, guys. If you have any questions on that, please let me know in the comments, and I can definitely dive more specifically into anything you want or answer any questions you have about that. Okay, and the last thing for this is that you always, if you really want to improve at something quickly, you always need to be consuming information and reflecting on it. This is part of this too, but what I mean by that is just be engaged with your skill. If you have some free time, okay, listen to a podcast about your skill, watch interesting videos about your skill, watch people competing in your skill, okay? And you're just going to slowly gain little bits of information from that too, which is just going to slowly raise your level over time. And this, it doesn't have to be serious study. Like I said, just enjoy watching content about your skill, content related to your skill, okay? Anyways, guys, this is how to make learning simple. This should be an easy framework you can start implementing today to start learning more. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.